So to start off making the wall, let's make a new Python project. So I'm going to save it in here, Python project. Make a new project anywhere you want. I'm going to keep the name as Zoom bot, and then I'm going to open Visual Studio Code in this directory. So you can use any text editor, but I like Visual Studio Code. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new file called main.py. Name it whatever you want, but extension should be .py. And now before we proceed, let's install few modules. So I'm going to open Windows Terminal, and in CMD I'm going to type pip3 install pyauto GUI. So I already have it installed, so it's saying requirement already satisfied. But if you don't have it, then it should just install for you. Then after that we're going to import pyauto GUI, the same one we just installed. Okay. Then we want to do import subprocess. So this is a CMD or Windows CMD command prompt area. So we can give it some input like this, but it won't run from here. It'll run with Python. We're going to input date time so that our bot runs at a specific time, and we're going to import time so that we can do some test purpose. So now I'm going to define a function. So def, and I'm going to call this join. You can call it whatever you want, but I like join. And I'm going to put a variable inside called id and password. Okay, this is our meeting id and password. And now I won't be filling this now because this I'll be filling it when we execute the function. So we cannot execute like, so if I do print hello, so now if I run this, it's not going to print hello. Okay, it won't say hello. But to run it, because it's not running anything, we're just declaring this whole function. Okay, so now the way we can run this is by join, and then we can just put the id, which is copy this, and the password, which is this. Okay, so now if I run it, it will say print hello. Yes. So now we'll write a script. So now what we can do is we can do a sub process dot uh, we can do run call. So what call will do is it will um open applications or just basically do commands from CMD, and we're going to give in the path of zoom. So in Mac it will be different, but I'm just putting Windows path usually this, but feel free to check where it is. And I'm going to put wherever a slash backslash is a single one, I'm going to put a double backslash. Okay, so that see here this b was a purple one. That means a function this is. Okay, so if you want to prevent this from being a function but rather a string, this is the function by the way, and this is just a path. We want to keep this as a path, not a function. So we're going to put double backslash instead of a single backslash. And if you don't know where the location of zoom is, just type zoom, open file location, and then open file location again. This is on Windows. I don't know about Mac. And then copy the path. And before we can go, we can actually type zoom and then copy the path and then paste it in there. So now this will open zoom. Okay. So now let's run this. Okay. It opened it. So now we wanted to click this. So now let's take a print screen so that it can understand what to click. Okay, save this. Okay, saved it, but I should probably rename that to join one dot png, because we have multiple join to click. After this we have to click this join. So yeah, so now let's actually make it click. So we're going to do uh, join one is equal to pi autogui dot click locate on screen. So it will search this image. Okay, so let's get the image as join one dot png. So it'll search for this join one, this image on our screen. Okay, we're declaring it as the variable. Okay, so now we can do pi autogui dot click click let's click the join one image. Okay, so now sometimes the problem what can happen is this zoom opens late and this function executes and doesn't find the image. What we can do is we can make a loop. So which is what we can do is we can do while true, and whatever the loop has to be done we can just put it inside the loop like this. So now while true it will keep on we can do now, it'll search this image. Okay, so now we can do if join one is equal to is not equal to none on screen. So that means if it's present on screen then we have to click it, and then we can print clicked click join one, else print could not find join one. Okay, so now if we run this, okay, so it found it. So let me just quickly end this before my Visual Studio Code crashes, and we can see that it clicked it successfully. So now what I want to do is after it clicks it, I want to break out of the loop, stop the loop. So I can just put break and it comes out of the loop. But if it cannot find, it will keep on doing its function until it cannot find. Until it can find, sorry. I'm just going to force that. Could not find join one button, could not find join one button, could not find it. And like that it will do is job. So I'm just going to keep a time dot sleep, so it will take a rest for 2 seconds and then check, do its checking part. Okay, so now let's copy this and do a paste again because we want to do this again. But now after clicking this we want to click this part so that this input field becomes active, because we don't want to click, we don't want to type nowhere. Okay, gonna save that, save this as input. Let's call this field dot png. Copy the text, copy, cancel this. So let's call it as field. Field is equal to the path, which is field. So if you're keeping this file in the same directory where the images, you don't need to write its whole directly like Hedge, other Python projects like that. But if you're keeping this somewhere else, like in some C blank name, blah 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 blah, then you need to give its path name like Hedge double backslash like that. Hope that makes sense. So now if field is not equal to none, and we can call this field, I'll click there. So we can call this made field active, made actually. And then we wanted to type. Okay, so now we can do pi autogui. Instead of clicking typing click, we can just do type right. And then we want to type in the id, which is this is the id. We declare the variable here and its variable is here. So id, and then so copy, paste, and now we want to click it, we want to click this join button. So I'll make it click this. Save this and let's call this join2.png. Done. Cancel. Close. And now after it types the ID, we want to make it click the next button. So we can do so now we just define the variable that time here. So now what we can do is here we can just instead of declaring the variable, we can just put in the variable's text instead of declaring it. So what we can do is we can just do py auto GUI auto click, and instead of putting the variable name, we can actually just put in the function like this. And this was join 2. You can always come here, right click, copy relative path. Okay, and then it comes out of the loop, and then made actually I forgot to do change correct that. I actually corrected and made it more wrong, and then we could just print if it could not find the field. We can just say could not find the field, input field active. Then we wanted to enter the password. So now we can go back to Zoom, put on the password, and then we want to click this, close that, put in some random password for now to just make this active. Take a screenshot of that button. So save this, save it as join 3 this time, 3, and let's call this as field2.png. Okay, so now we can leave that, and now so here we can now here is we can write field 2. So I'm holding alt on my keyboard to type multiple places at once. So I'm gonna type field 2 like that, and now here I want to make it type the password, and here we can make it do click join 3 after entering the password, and then we could not find input field 2, made the input field 2 active. And now we should be done. Let's run this actually. Okay, it found it, clicked it, enter the password, do that, and now it has entered the meeting. You can always make it mute by itself in the settings. Go to settings in Zoom, and then uh, there's an option mute on entry audio, I guess. Automatically mute my microphone when joining a meeting. Okay, so that's done. So now what we can do is we can make our date time arrangement. So what we can do is now we can do we can input, we can type in this, yes, this. So this just tells the date and time. Okay, so current time, if you print it, it's going to be the time actually. First the date, the month, year, then it will be our hour and minute. You can obviously change the format by putting date. um, Copy this, put this here, copy, paste that, put that like that. So then month first will come. So an example of how it will be printed is like this. This is this is the date. Yesterday's actually. This is the month, year, time, and in this case, this will be the opposite way actually. Copy, paste. Like that. Okay. So now we can do if current time is equal to, let's put 02 07 to 1 to 1, and the time should be military time or 24-hour time, and 49, let's keep actually. Sounds good, right? Yeah, 49. Then we want to start our function else print not the time, and let's put this in a while true loop so that it will keep on checking the time. Let's run this. Oh my god. Okay, I hope Zoom did not crash like that, but it's executing. Okay, so Zoom definite Visual Studio Code definitely crashed. Yep, it crashed, I guess. So yeah, that's actually what it did. So what we can do to prevent this happening, just keep on spamming that time, that not the time. We can just do a time dot sleep, give it some rest for 2 seconds, and then every 2 seconds it will check the time. Otherwise, we can just keep it 30 seconds, 60. But I'm just gonna keep it 10. Sorry, PewDiePie. And after it, if the time is correct, it'll first execute, and I don't want to keep on executing it, but rather I want to just stop it by just clicking break. So now if we run that, I'll keep it 50 so that it executes now only. Okay, give it some time. It's going through every pixel on the screen, so it's taking time. And there we go. It's done. So if I check in that meeting, I'm joined. Excellent. So now, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Leave any video suggestion in the comment section below. I will be happy to make a video on that. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.